Did you do a bandwidth test, Glenn?
I've been screwing around with things all through that previous race, and
Yeah.
I've cut the bandwidth right down, and
Still like,
my bandwidth here is fine. I've got 1,000 down and 500 up, so
yep. Could just be YouTube. Like, trust me, there's been days where, because yep. Okay.
welcome back, everyone. Hopefully we've got rid of the gremlins. We've made it back for the start of the second race tonight, which is good. We see Sasha Death again on pole position, with Austin McNeil, Ramos Samuel, Jack Steele, Tonkin, and Dreyer. So we shall get ourselves sorted here, and hopefully we can hand back to our trusty team of commentators. Guys,
Thank you, Glenn.
you're still
Thank you
there?
for sorting that. It's looking wonderful. Appears to be working. Will someone be able to give us a shout out in the Discord? Make sure that everyone knows the new link.
I think it should go.
Yeah, it's just become a plain live stream. That's all.
Right.
Yeah, but don't stress. Like, I mean, it's going to be what it's going to be. We can change the name of the VOD afterwards.
Yeah.
So don't stress too much about that. Yeah. Ping out. You make sure you let everyone know. All right. Alrighty. So we're on race 2. We've had a very spicy race 1, I would say. That's how I'm going to word it. Would you agree with that, Grant?
A little bit more than spicy, I would say extremely entertaining.
Yeah. Well,
But
a race where P1 and 2
No.
slapped together is very spicy. Always, I'd say. So.
yeah, more entertaining than Singapore F1, I reckon.
Oh yes, yeah, that was a spicy race as well. Yeah, it's I'm excited for this weekend in that. But right now we've got Death leading McNeely, Samuel, Steele, Tonkin, and Drea away from the front 3 rows. Everyone's looking pretty in line. We're about to hit the line and get the green. Can Death get a better start than last time? She did get jumped a little bit last time, although it's looking good. We've got green flags. Oh no, we've got a car in the wall straight away. But that's all right. Someone down the back. Bit of a zippity dive around. Yes, I'm not quite sure who that was. We'll catch up on that in a second. Oh, there's a couple of cars going wide in the background. So we've got our race leader, our race winner from the first race in second place, and Death in first place, who was second. So they've swapped positions for this. Death setting a 30.1 in qualifying, sorry, by the way, which is far faster than anyone else has gone tonight. The leaderboards are doing its shuffly shuffle as everyone crosses into the second sector. And that was Paulie that's been caught up in an incident there, unfortunately. And yeah, things have settled down now at the front here. Death's pulled a little bit of a gap. Very good on cold tyres. Is Death always bringing a bit of a gap as McNeely actually closes up a little bit through the right-hander hairpin there. Going into the back little straight here, or the infield straight, I'd say. Right-hander over that bump. That is savage on cold tyres. There's a lot of cars looking very unsettled there. Close gaps across the board through the middle of the field, and that has been a pretty straightforward lap 1, except for the one person flying off in the grass, who again I believe was Paulie. What do you think of that first lap?
It seemed pretty clean compared to all the other laps. I saw Johnson in P6. I'm not sure if that's where he qualified, but a little bit further back than the previous race. Hopefully a lot cleaner for the rest of the race as well. I think Death is gonna start pulling away maybe from Austin keeps the pace up.
Oh,
And-
we've got a move on it that looked like Drea up the inside of Samuel. As it's still too wide, a couple of positions back.
Oh, sorry, it's playing up.
That's all right.
There we go.
All good. So we're back on board again. So Drea is now in front, if that's right, or is that Samuel?
That's
Samuel's
Drea
the
in
white
front.
car.
Yep.
Yeah, Drea in front. That's right. So Drea's got the move done, and Samuel's fighting hard, but this has caused a bit of a big gaggle of cars here, and the front three have just leapt away. So it has been a battle for quite a few corners now. This tends to happen.
That's a bit of an incident down at double. Apex hairpin seems to have sorted itself out now. I think that's car 71 again being involved in an incident. So that's
Real.
which car? Yeah, Mike Real again. Extremely unlucky. I think that's Johnson as well, heading to the pits now, going for the early pit stop. Yes, it is. As well as another car of Matt Powell, is it? No, sorry, it's Slade, Aaron Slade. So a few more people choosing to pit early, just to get out of the dirty air. Less chances of getting involved in the incident as well.
Is Slade related to the supercar driver Slades?
If he is, I'm asking him to get me in touch.
It's all right. After a win like you had the other night, I'm sure they'll throw you a bone.
Don't remind them of that, because then I'll get more people telling me to do a shoey.
Oh, it's all right. As long as it's rotten milk, you'll be fine.
Oh no.
You
So-
trick them, put a little bit of cream in it, and it'll look absolutely disgusting. Sorry.
So we have a Samuel under pressure from James McKellar in the 111 car, holding up maybe a little bit of a train now, going down to, I believe, P10, which is Jacob Fleming. So good little gap there. Maybe they'll start having a bit of battle as the race dwindles down.
Yeah, that's right. So Samuel's actually going in the pits. Never mind. Deciding that looked like a last minute decision. It was right at the end of the pit lane. The last second throws it in.
George Cook following him down the pit lane. So now we have Death who has the fastest lap still. She's pulled away from Austin McNeil, then the gap's now 0.8 of a second. So might run away with the win so far. Maybe hoping to have a bit of a better pit stop than last time. Jack Steele is 3.6 seconds ahead, having his little own battle during this opening stages of the race.
Yeah, Andrea's looking pretty fast, breaking away from P5. So pulling 1.8 seconds, considering they were all nose to tail just about 2 minutes ago. That's actually a really big gap pulled from the rest of them. They were literally all within about 2 or 3 tenths each car gap, all the way down to about 10th position, and now they've all sort of spread out a bit. A couple of cars are close together behind them, as we've got Piper and Ricker battling it out in the Audi and the BMW. And we've got, looks like, Fleming with a couple of cars, Lewis and Powell right behind them as well. So some close little battles up and down the grid. But again, the front few have really sort of spread out, really just focusing on pumping in some good laps. The last lap there being a 30.7, I think, for Drea. So zooming along nice and quick. Is anyone massively out of position? It looks like Tonkin's actually a long way back. Tonkin was quite quick in qualifying, I believe P5 or 6-ish. And all the way back down.
Yeah, I think so that's a relatively good lap. I think it was in 30.5. So it might have been up there, actually.
Yeah, so Tonkin's all the way back down in P14 at the moment, so something definitely is going to stray there for Tonkin. As we jump on board that beautiful purple color. I'm always making a purple and black car myself whenever I'm made to make my own livery. Not that I'm good at making liveries, I just like those color tones and slap them together somehow, and that's how it turns out.
Yes, I believe Tonkin is struggling a bit because his fastest lap so far has been 33.1, I think that was.
Really must be carrying damage. No way he
Yeah.
goes 3 seconds slower than his qualifying time.
Might have gotten involved in an incident at the start of the race. So just a little tap from behind. Might have caught it so there wasn't a yellow flag. So yeah, unlucky for Tonkin. So is yeah, hopefully he'd mean to just recover. Had a good result last race, I believe. So hoping a good hole in a good points, few points.
Yeah. The field's definitely spread out a lot more than last time, as the drivers like the group was a much tighter bunch at this point in the race last time around, where everyone's sort of a bit spread out. So I think we've had a few little coming togethers or running wides throughout the field to really spread it out, as Rico is all over the back of Piper, giving them an inch of room to think. Oh, getting very close under brakes. But BMW is a nice all-rounded car, I've found watching it this series. It's seems to be pretty quick and pretty easy to drive just about everywhere by the looks of it. But nothing overpowered anywhere. Like, it doesn't seem to be the fastest car anywhere, but it seems to be quick-ish everywhere, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a solid car. It's a very midfield car. I'd say it's not horrible at any tracks, but it's not great at any tracks. So it's a solid car, I'd say.
Yeah, it's not up there with the Macca or the Ferrari, although Dylan 10, I think, is driving it in Group 1. As it appears, we've got a steward's warning. The steward warning and a nuclear warning as well at the same time. It's I believe someone got a penalty there, I'd say.
Yeah, we'll see update when they cross the line. So we have Lewis in the pits now, the 959 car, pitting 10 minutes into the race. A good chunk of the field is already pit, so obviously wanting to get a big snap there for Rika, chasing down a Piper in the Audi. Audi's a sort of underdog car, I believe. The TC is the only thing that's holding it back, I think.
Yeah, it seems to be very quick in a straight line, but struggles to really on the exit of corner. But as you said, if it's the TC, that would make perfect sense, because that seems to be the spot they get gobbled up. It was quite quick at it was an even bigger slide there for Piper, letting Rika through. Is Rika completely through? Yes, easily. That was a big slide, but a good catch, but unfortunately losing a spot and probably about a second or so of actual race position.
Yeah, I know that the Audi was extremely fast at Silverstone if you had the TC turned off, which is what Andy O'Hara and Philippa Bakita done. That's how they got away with the race win, I believe, there.
Yeah. So in other words, you have to be like one of the best drivers in the world to be able to deal with it. What you're telling me.
Yeah. I think they were running 0TC in the wet as well. So insane driving there.
Yeah. So really, really having to practice with that right foot, being very careful.
Yeah. Feel like driving an F1 car without the grip.
Yeah.
But I believe there was an incident at turn 2 involving a few cars.
Yes.
That seems cleared itself up now. I think we'll see who that is in a sec. I believe it might have been Lewis or George Cook or somewhere. So we'll see if that results in a penalty soon.
Yeah, there'll be a replay coming soon of that. I think I've got a feeling this the number 6 was involved.
Oh yeah, so it might be between Dan Foxtrot and a few others.
Yeah,
It's you saying?
there was a couple of cars going very slow. They were overlapped, so it was hard to read which number it was. But yeah, we've got another one pitting. That is Piper coming in the pits. As we get towards that 15-minute mark, we're going to see a lot of cars doing pits. So Piper's just a little bit earlier than everyone else. That is very wide there by Ricker. I want to know. So on that turn 1, can you go all 4 wheels on the AstroTurf and 2 wheels off the AstroTurf?
Yeah, so the rules is for track limits, you have to keep at least 2 wheels on the green stuff. I'm not sure what that's called, the green stuff on the exit. So if you take 2 wheels off of that, it is a warning. There's a replay of what happened at turn 2. That's car 6. That's Dan Foxtrot, very close to track limits there. Just gets misjudged braking zone, I think, or just let off the brake by accident. Wow, very, very easy mistake there. Or I think Dan Foxtrot might have braked quite early, actually.
Yeah, I think the 58 just let him past as well. That's good sportsmanship there, understanding they made a mistake. I mean, you don't have to do that because you're still going to get the penalty, unfortunately. But yeah, that's really just the way of tipping your hat and saying that is completely my bad. Have your position back as well, and I'll cop the penalty and be worse off again.
Yeah, it's basically a good way of saying I'm sorry. Here's this as in compensation.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. So again, just a couple little mistakes there, here and there, but the drivers are driving very fast out the front here. As Death and McNeely. Yeah, McNeely is 8 tenths behind. So
he's gained, I think, 8 tenths in the past lap. Sasha Death was about 2 seconds ahead.
Oh, was she?
Last lap? Yeah.
Last time I checked the gap, it was sort of about 1.2. So, yeah, and they're just floating now around that one. I wonder if Death has made a mistake or if this lap traffic sort of is a bit distracting out in front. We'll see. We'll probably get a replay if there is something major, really obvious that happened, but it might not be anything too crazy. I nearly driving the wheels off this Lambo. Looking very smooth, though, as they're doing that.
Yeah, I was speaking to Austin earlier in this race. It turns out that the Lamborghini has extremely weird meta setups. I think you can max out the bump stops and the bump rate ranges, and that somehow makes it extremely fast.
Righto, yes. Oh, as McNeely throws it in the pits. So the gap had stretched back out to 1.2 there as McNeely came in. So maybe the car was going away just a little fraction there. It is actually a fair bit cooler this session. That's something I didn't spot before. The track's at 24. So we're seeing quite a few people pitting now. Is that Michaela and Rico as well?
Yep, and Michaela is also in the pits. Matt Powell and Jacob Fleming heading into the pits now.
Same as last race.
Yes, Mike Reel heading into the pits now. Please tell me there's no pit lane speed penalties. I've just jinxed it as well. So a few drivers choosing to just go a little bit further than halfway. Maybe just wanting to not encounter some traffic through the first stint.
There's 4 cars all in a row here. That makes parking up quite hard. I don't like having to drive through cars to get to my parking bay when I'm playing this. It's very rough to get to the spot.
It is tricky. I hate it when you miss your pit box as well. So I will say Austin McNeil has a extremely a very large gap to the next cars around him. He's going through turn 4 now. The next car behind him is going through turn 2. The next car ahead is going through to the third to last corner. So a huge gap for him.
That's right. Steele comes into the pits and Death is doing another lap. So Dreyer as well. So there won't be too much lost or gained. As actually, Drea's got a 10-second penalty, so Drea will be probably losing quite a bit out here, as there was quite a few cars within that 10-second gap behind them. We're down to just 2 cars that haven't pitted now, which is our leader, Death, and Turcolini, or Thurcolini, in the Porsche, the only Porsche out there today.
Yeah,
Porsche.
I was hearing that the Porsche are extremely hard to set up around here. Brad Cook, who'll be racing, I believe, in the pros, I was complaining about it quite a lot.
Yeah, you get that with different spec cars. Sometimes they just don't suit the track at all. And this is pretty close, but not that close. Looks like McNeely's probably gained a tad. Oh, not really. What the thing is, though, there's that warm-up lap on the tires. So while the gap doesn't look too big and probably a bit closer than what it was, I'd say Steele's just going to struggle to keep up here with McNeely. They go through, so it's a 1.1 seconds. I believe it was a. That is closer. So if McNeely, oh, that's wide, but McNeely's Steele's going to be pushing hard here. So Steele was very pacey in race 1.
Yeah, Steele was on his on the pace to get a race win earlier before just a little incident between Johnson and himself ended their race, unfortunately. So he'll be hunting down Austin for this next few laps. As Sasha's in the pits, we'll see where she comes out. Damiano is also heading into the pits now. Come to a stationary stop. So they come around the final corner as we see the double camera. I think, yeah, that's Sasha coming out of the pit box now. It's going to be close.
That was slow. She didn't get moving until, oh, here we go. Side by side.
In the middle, on the inside. Austin McNeil is past Sasha Death through the pit stop. So Sasha obviously not loving strategy throughout these races. Jack Steele behind her. Wow, this could be a good final 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think Sasha maybe stalled when she dropped because her car dropped and it didn't go. It just sat there and sat there and sat there, and then it went. So maybe Sasha just wanted to make things interesting for us, although she's already appears to have slightly closed the gap a bit here. It's only 2 tenths between her and first place. So this is going to be good for Steele. Oh, Sasha goes a bit deep into the left-hander and ends up losing a bit of time on the exit. If Sasha and McNeely start battling, Steele's going to be rubbing his hands together and trying to pick up the pieces. So this track definitely appears to be, you lose a lot of time if you get into battles. Oh, Sasha using all the track and some there. Trying not to lose too much time. It's really hard to not push too hard on those cold tires because you've got that carrot right in front of you saying, I'm right here. And she's probably a little bit in her head as you are when you've pitted with a nice little lead and then all of a sudden you don't have it anymore. Coming through into turn 1, this very quick turn 1, third gear. Back up to 4th and then down into turn 2, all the way back to 1st. Closing that gap up. That Ferrari's very quick through these lower speed corners. Closing the gap up again.
Sasha will be hoping for a good exit out of this final corner onto the back straight. The thing is, the Lamborghini is extremely fast in a straight line compared to the Ferrari. Death seems to be a bit faster a little bit later on the brakes. They're getting quite close to the rear end of Austin McNeil. And does it again, that might be entry. Yeah, Austin getting another good exit.
Yeah, it seems to be McNeely's doing a little bit more of the slower in, faster out, but that Ferrari, from everything I've seen, really loves going deep and hard into the first half of the corner. It's very, very quick on the entrance in. Look at that gap close. And getting a really nice exit, actually, as well, is Death this time. Can she do anything in this toe, though? It's going to be enough. That Lambo looks to be a little bit quicker. Although, yeah, the Ferrari has slightly closed the gap down that straight, but not enough. It's going to be very hard to get a pass, I think, apart from a mistake from McNeely, who actually drove a bulletproof race last race. So a reminder, 75 points on the up for grabs for first place here. And
so Sasha's still just in the mirror of Austin. Still, I think, just dropping back just a little bit from the 2 cars ahead. As I start racing, I think he will catch up just a little bit. Might make it a 3-car battle once the people start getting more aggressive towards the end of the race.
Yeah, if these two start battling, it's just going to be all there for Steele to jump all over this. And we've actually had a couple of 10-second penalties handed out. So Slade's picked one up, and so has McKellar back in 5th place. So McKellar actually quite a fair way forward, I believe, from where they qualified. There's a few drivers that are doing exceptionally well, and looks like Piper's gone back behind. Rick has gone back behind Piper after the pit stops. So Piper pitting and managing to jump Ricker in the pits. Although there's a good little gaggle of them. There's about 5 cars in a row, all within 0.6 of each other or so, or less. But this is the battle for the lead. It's looking mighty fast. So I think Dre's actually just done a move on Cook. By the looks of it. Oh, they're doing a move as I say that. Side by side. Overlapping heavily. Are they going to let each other go? They've dropped off the back of the cars in front because they just won't. No one's willing to give it up. Good battle here. Cook managing to end up ahead again. Drea all over the back. So Drea recovering from that 10-second penalty. So because these cars were all so close, Drea's actually dropped about 6 positions from that 10-second penalty. That's absolutely huge.
Yeah, extremely unlucky there for Drea.
Yeah, this battle has not cooled off at all. They're going to be looking for a move sooner rather than later. But probably a bit disappointing to get the move just cleanly done. I'd say Drea probably got the move into the last corner, but then got drafted and passed again down the main straight. That's kind of what it looked like. Because when we jumped on board, I couldn't see any cars, and then next thing I know, we go to the outside cam, and there's a car alongside. Oh, that's a big dive. Whoops, that's a big mistake there. That's not looking good.
Extremely hard. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say good avoidance there by Cook not to end both their days, opening up the wheel and sort of letting Drea scoot along the inside. Yeah, I think Drea just completely outbraking themselves there, unfortunately. So that's the end of that battle. And the Ricker Piper Samuel battle's still raging on just ahead of these guys.
Yeah, so that last corner, extremely easy to outbrake yourself. Being downhill and a low speed corner, it's very inviting as well for the cars behind to make it a bit of a dive bomb. So I think he might have just misjudged his braking point, as the BMW got a little bit slidey out of that last corner, and maybe also just got a track limit token there.
Yes, very, very possibly did. As looks like the things up the front might have got a little bit spicy while we looked away as well, as Steele is now 0.3 behind Death. So we have these 2 3-way battles happening. You've got on your left, you've got the Piper battle. I'm just going to call it the Piper battle because Piper's in the meat and the sandwich here. And on your right, you have the battle for the lead with Death in the sandwich here. And this gap, the difference in the Ferrari's pace of where Sasha gets close and where she loses time, it's amazing. Like she gets right up on the back and then she falls back away of where probably where that arrow is more.
Oh, it's sorry to cut you off.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I saw that. Sorry. I did
Nearly
notice that.
Nearly went too wide into the first turn for our Benjamin Piper, forcing the BMW to go around the outside at turn 2. Didn't make it stick, so wow, a lot of pressure onto Benjamin Piper through turn 1, 2. Doing well to defend the BMW off though.
Yeah, and the BMW is still applying pressure everywhere. This is absolutely awesome. I'm surprised my brain's even half keeping up with this. Glad I've got you along here, Grant, to keep me going, because this is absolutely intense. Both these battles are very spicy indeed. Again, just lots of little moves and mirrors happening by all the drivers here. Oh, Sasha gets right up on that curb that she's been getting up all over every single lap. It's costing her time, though. She's really trying to keep up with that Lambo through there, and she's super fast through this last corner.
Yeah, I think we're going to...
Right up.
Sorry, I think we're going to get another 2 laps. They're crossing the line with a minute 40 to go.
Yeah.
During a minute 30, probably 31's race pace for the top drivers. Yeah, so there'll be another lap going. So yeah, Sasha I think will start getting quite aggressive, making a move around the outside of turn 2. Will she make it stick as Austin pushes them wide? Jack Steele might get involved in this. A 2 wide down to turn 4.
She stayed up the inside. And managed to do it. Going to feed a little bit of wheel back.
Austin's going to stay in this. Wow, what close racing Austin can see as Jack Steele might get involved through turn 5.
Oh, this is going to be death race. I think this is just going to be a death race. Death's just going to walk away with it now if they keep battling behind.
Yeah,
this tends to happen. You throw someone back to the car behind them and then they start fighting and you just walk away. Although that hasn't happened now. Steele's sort of just settled in. Although a bit of a wobble.
Austin got a huge snapper oversteer out of the hairpin. Austin has the inside line though. Through this double apex corner, Austin stays ahead. Made a little bit of gap through there.
What a cool move by Sasha there. Go around the outside. Nearly didn't work, as she was actually completely off the track, even touching the gravel there. And has managed to pull it off. I don't know how that worked, but that was cool. Good driving by everyone. They're all pointing the same way.
I say that's the move of the week so far. What a race this has been, and what a move from Sasha Death around the outside of turn 2, trying to make it stick, and then going through turn 4 and 5. Just those usually aren't corners that you overtake at, but she made it stick. Yeah, so
Steele's actually managed to steal the fastest lap away when chasing up to the back of these two out front, but it looks like Death's just left. Death's just turned on the afterburners and said, "See you later." Saved all the afterburners for this last lap. That is very, very quick, unless McNeely copped a little bit of damage when they touched as they went side by side through there, or is a little bit shaken because again, a Ferrari just went zooming around the outside, which is not something you normally see at this level. That is just super, super impressive. She did it all under brakes too. It wasn't like she gained up alongside him. She just went around the outside and drove it round. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, so look at the gap between Austin and Death. Already 1.5 seconds.
There's traffic off the track in front. Oh, okay. It's not going to cause any issues.
Sasha coming around the final corner. She's been on pace all day. I'm about to say all weekend. Coming around the final corner. Austin coming through. She seems happy about it. Taking the checkered flag. It's P1 for Sasha Death. Coming close with P2, Austin McNeil. And Jack Steele rounds out the podium. Flawless race from Sasha Death, I believe. Apart from that little pit stop error. Wow.
Yeah, and we've got a 10-second penalty here for McKellar, so that's actually going to drop them back. Good job from Steele to finish P3 after that really unfortunate race 1. Probably deserved to win race 1 or at least finish on the podium. So I'm sure they'll be disappointed, but everyone's coming across the line now. Lots of people finishing up and stopping just after the start finish line. Tolkien ends up 11th, so recovering actually from the earlier mistakes. They're all the way down in P15 at one point, so there's a few penalties out down the back as well. That'll shuffle things around a bit further down the pack. But we've ended up with Death, McNeely, then Steele, then McKellar. Oh, actually, McKellar's going to get a 10-second penalty and end up being P8 by the looks of it, or P7. We are going to jump across to the Pro Series very, very, very shortly, as they'll probably be already under qualifying. We'll have a quick little blast through this. So again, it's
Yeah, they're just finishing qualifying now. 15 seconds to go.
So Death, McNeely, and it was Steele in 1, 2, 3. So fantastic jobs for Death and McNeely today with their P1 and P2 each. So they've come away with the most points this weekend. And we'll see you guys very, very shortly in the next little bit when we jump across to that for the pros now. Get to see how they do it. I've heard some very spicy times being coming out. Alrighty, welcome back everyone to the Sim Magic GT3 Cup for the Motorsport Australia Esports Series. I am Justin Tate and I have Grant Begg in the commentary booth. We have Glenn pushing the buttons. Are you excited for the pros after that spicy Pro-Am race?
Well, I thought the Pro-Ams were extremely fast, so I don't know how you can get any faster than that, but I guess we're about to find out.
Oof, are you noticing something at the front of the grid there? There's a whole bunch of McLarens I see. I see. There'll be some happy mullocks out there if this was the F1. he loves himself a fast McLaren, except they're not papaya. No one's papaya, actually. I don't think anyone has one in this class. It's a little bit disappointing, but that's right. We have the Laundry House Racing Porsche actually in P8. That's really fast for a Porsche. Modelo.
Quite a good effort then there, beating out a few Lambos and a few Ferraris.
So we have Pip on pole, Philippa, who's our current series leader, being absolutely ridiculously fast all season. If I'm just trying to pull up my standings.
I'm shocked.
And then I think we have Zach Smith in second, who's third overall, but that's because Rashmat is second, the international driver from, I believe that's Indonesia, right?
Yeah, it's Indonesia.
Yeah, he's from Indonesia. Rashmat is very, very quick and driving that Lambo. Although, is Rashmat here tonight? I don't see Rashmat here. So we're missing Rashmat tonight.
That might cost him a few places.
That's right. So it's quite a quick little warm-up. Let the drivers do it nice and quick here. So Stephen Ty is the furthest forward he's on the wrong side and gone to the right side now. The furthest forward wait, where are we missing one of the... We're missing one of the drivers up front. Is P2 dropped out?
Yeah, I believe might have. No. Yeah, I think someone has dropped out because I heard a driver complaining about it just then. As we go green, I believe Shady Samuel's got a good start, too wide at the front with Philippa Bakita. Tucks in behind as he gets a little tap from Houlihan. Philippa leading the pack. Seems to go clean at the start. Porsche making up a few positions. Near a little tap between, I believe that's Zach Smith and Shady Samuel. Zach Smith made it through to P2 now. Philip is still leading. So Houlihan's down in P4. Then we have Han up in P5, made up a few positions at turn 1. So relatively clean for the pros. There's a little car 77 out the back. A little bit of a tap maybe there.
Yeah, not too bad up the front. There was definitely a lot more aggressive. The difference in the pros, they really don't give each other any room. Everyone looked like they were about to spear into the side of everyone, but they all managed to pull it through relatively cleanly. Again, the couple of cars seem to have jumped up a couple of positions, although no one's really too out of position. Dylan Tan seems to have jumped 1 or 2 positions. And I'm trying to figure out who it is that's missing. There's one of the top 5 is missing. There was 5 McLarens up the front, but one of them is definitely not there anymore. Unfortunate for them. And we've just got the random Nissan in the middle of Briss, just absolutely flying along in that thing. Makes it look faster than it should be. Everyone that I talk to about it just says, yeah, it should be like last or second last, but it's not. It just makes it go fast. So that is crazy, as things have really smoothened out at the front here. And Zach Smith's actually looking pretty racy here after jumping a couple of positions up. So we've got P1 in the championship versus P2. Is that some boards on the track I was seeing there? Some signage, it looked like?
Maybe.
Yeah.
So
someone's been off the road and redecorating the track for us.
I saw Morella's made up a few places. He started down in, I think, 18th, 19th place. Brad Cook's lost a lot of places. He started in around P13, which is now inhabited by Connor Hind. So a few drivers having mixed results so far. And Luca Burst, who was just talking about in the Nissan. That car should not be on there. It should be going through turn 1 now on the first lap. It should be right there. But no, it's up there with the pro. Luca Burst being one of the top drivers in the world, actually. So
it's such a nice car, actually, too. His paint job he's got on it too. It's just fantastic to have him in this field of drivers. And look at the gaps. This is very, 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 very racy. Not a single car is more than 0.6 of a second. 0.7 of a second is the biggest number I see, all the way back to 15th position. So this is crazy, as we're going to get a replay of this first corner. We're on Sholnikov going through turn 1 and turn 2, who is in the middle of all the action alongside Briss here. And a little bump, and then gets tapped up behind. Oh no, and spears across. Pretty good job by most people avoiding. Unfortunately, it was just a bit of Constantina effect there, which you get about 5-6 rows back. So we're getting a 10-second penalty there for the car 705. For Connor Hines, yes. So Hines getting the penalty for his tapping Sholnikov there, in the Constantina. So unfortunate. Yes, everyone checked up, but you've got to be paying attention and you've got to try and avoid those ones. Very lucky that Crash didn't end up taking out more cars with the car spearing across the inside on the grass. That could be a complete race destroyer for a lot of people. So Sholnikov's actually not too far behind, being only about 5 seconds behind. Oh, wow, that's a very wide line there by Smith as he's trying to keep up with Philippa. It appears Samuel's made a little bit of a mistake, or maybe the front two have absolutely put in some Hummer laps as they have, while we're watching that replay, that front gap has spread out to about a little bit over a full second. Houlihan's been a fun one to watch. He's been running a fair bit of the alternate strategies. Every time he thinks he's in some sort of traffic, he just throws it in the pits and gets himself out of the way. I'm not sure if you followed our earlier races. The hour-long races had 3 stops? No, 2 stops, sorry, 3 stints. So we had a couple of 20-minute lasts, which were awesome. As Connor Hines' penalty gets applied, he'll be very disappointed with how competitive this field is. Again, we are, 3 laps into this race and everyone's still within a couple of tenths of each other. No, everyone's within a tenth of each other still, all the way down to 18th. Second, sorry. A second. I'm getting overexcited there. Everyone's within a second of each other, all the way back down to 18th position. So this is amazing, really.
Yeah, so I see Filippo Bakita has the fastest lap. It's a 29.9, so that is about half a second faster than what we were seeing the fastest lap in the Pro-Ams. So extremely fast grid here.
I'm just going to point this out. I opened up her stream and forgot to close it, and I saw her just take her hands off the wheels and clap coming onto the straight. So shout out to her stream if you want to check that out. She's streaming her whole point of view, and it is very spectacular to see. I just caught it in the corner of my eye, was her taking her hands off her wheels and clapping as she came down the main straight. So she's obviously happy with the pace she's putting on. This is absolutely fantastic to see, and a great part of the Australian esports motorsport community and OOR. Man, but I don't know where to look. There's just this big stream of cars doing really fast times. Like, if Pip's doing those times, everyone else must be doing, everyone must be in the 30s. I don't know if anyone hasn't done a 30 all the way down the grid. The gaps are too close. That is some stupid pace. And this is what I meant when you said, this person should be in pro and this person should be in pro. Like, you should see how fast pro is, though, and how consistently fast all of them are. There we go. So we've just heard that only 2 people did 31s last lap. Every single person is in the 30s or 29s. And there's Zach Smith setting the new fastest lap with a 29.9. And a couple of people darting into the pits now. As this would be the alternate window pit stop strategy of pitting at about the 10-minute mark, getting out with 20 minutes left. Again, definitely it's not a crazy strategy.
Yeah, so Zach Smith is now just 3/10 behind Philippa Vikita. Might be looking to maybe make a move, but these guys being pros, they'll be very wary of Shady Samuel and Ryan Houlihan behind. Maybe just going to be careful to see if they don't cost themselves too much time, try and work together a little bit.
Yeah, this is looking very good. The pit run's a little bit wide there, unless that's the line she likes to take through there. Smith's definitely looking very racy. And the thing I love about this level of driver that we're seeing out the front here, when they make a mistake, it's half a tenth. You know, it's half a tenth and a tenth. That's the gaps. That's the changes you'll see corner to corner. It's not much at all. You know, these two will be pumping laps very, very close to that 30 flat almost every single lap, as Smith really is putting the hammer down here and got actually quite a good exit, but going to go into the pits. Okay, thinking he's got the pace, so he's going to drop straight into the pits and try and come out. This is an undercut here for sure, is what he's aiming to do. Let's see if it pays off. So he enters the pits at 0.28 behind Philippa here. We'll see if it pays off for him. Though, again, it really depends on how he hits the pit box more than anything else.
Yeah, so these being pro drivers, they'll be, especially in the pit lane, they'll be braking as late as they can, hoping not to get a pit speed penalty, which I think is a drive-through, I've been told. So yeah, they'll be doing all the strats. I don't know if can you brake boost in the pit lane? I don't know.
I'm not sure what brake boosting is, but that sounds like what's that, like a Rocket League technique or something?
I only learned about it yesterday, so I'm pretty new to it. Pretty sure it's when on the race start you hold down the brakes and jam the accelerator so the brakes are stopping you at 80 k's an hour, and then as soon as the lights go green, you lift off the brake and it shoots you forward.
Oh, right. So that would be like a bit of a turbo lag thing for the ones with the turbos, just to get the engine boost up and that sort of thing. I'd say that's where that sort of technique would come from in real life. That's how I could apply it to real life. A number of these cars run turbos, so
yeah, the Ferrari having a lot of turbo lag, especially when race starts, they will probably would have found a way to mitigate that.
Yeah, that's right. As again, Samuel's just pumping along, doing some really nice time. That's someone that I'm impressed with here, because Samuels is currently 7th in the championship, so nearly half the points of Pip, who's out in the lead. So being this close to her is actually showing some very serious pace. And we do our third place man in the championship is Stephen Tai, who's currently down in 5th place. We do have Rashmat, Dylan Tan, and Kobe Chan in 1, 2, 3 in the international series. It's Pips, though, really starting to look somewhat dominant actually in this series, with a 75-point lead already and leading this race currently. So putting this gap on Zachary Smith again, gaining another handful of points. I'm not quite sure of the difference between first and second, but I believe it probably would be about the 10-point mark or so. As a guess, as Pip actually pits to cover off the undercut. I'd say this is directly to cover off the undercut to stop Zach Smith gaining some time. In fact, it's probably going to open up a gap a little bit, because generally that outlap is slightly slower if she hits the markers. It's all looking pretty good so far, and stop nice and smooth.
I've been told that I was saying Pip might have been done for the speed in the pit lane.
Oh,
Just barely. I'm not fully sure about that, so don't quote me on it. But yeah,
we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
When she leaves the pit lane, we'll see it, right? That's usually when it pops up. And then they'll adjust it. I don't think they give the full stop go 30. I think we just add 30 seconds. Is that right, Glenn? Is that why you're still doing that? Do we just give a 30-second penalty for speeding in pit lane, or do we do the full stop go? I can't remember. I remember sometimes we do. She's left the pit lane and no
penalty.
No penalty. So perfect. It was what was it? 60.5 or whatever it is, 60.00. Right, right on it. As there's the gap there. We can see it. So Smith has actually lost a bit of track position, but it should close up a little bit on this first half a lap to lap. Again, Pip covering it off beautifully. Yeah, Pip just answered. That's what it was, which is fantastic there. And everyone else has actually decided to do the same as the front drivers. No one's actually doing the long run. That's what I was surprised about to see. Maybe Ty will do it. Maybe Stephen Ty will pull it out and go 5 extra minutes. Do another 3-4 laps and see if they can gain some time and end up ahead.
So I will say someone who's doing quite well in this race, who's 22nd in the championship, is Christopher Taylor, running P5, I think now, or might have just pit actually. Yeah, so they were P7 last time I checked. Usually, in the middle of the top 10 in the sprint series, doing extremely well here with the pros. Yeah, up into P3 now, going pretty long on his laps, as we see. This is Shady Samuel cutting the pit lane entry line. That's a bit naughty from him. So we'll see if anyone reports that. Probably not. No one's around to see it, but just shaving off all the time they can get.
Yeah, and it appears things have stayed roughly where they were before. Everything's sort of maybe slightly spread out a tad at these front few. Yeah, it has definitely, because Samuel was only 1 second behind Pip. So Pip, again, just absolutely nailing that pit entry and pulling out about a second on everyone in that pit stop changeover. As some more cars are in the pit. Stephen Ty decided to pit this time. So, yeah, everyone in the top 5 has pitted. Again, everyone's pitting earlier, a lot earlier than what we had before. And it looks like Tan has actually jumped Houlihan. So there has been a change in this pit. Dylan Tan getting a really good pit and jumping Houlihan. Actually, I think Houlihan's just had a bad pit because he's definitely a lot further back from Samuel than he was as the pits stops happened. So, yeah. Houlihan gonna try and look to make a move back on Tan, but Tan is probably one of the hardest drivers to get past in the field. Tan is very, very quick and knows how to drive exceptionally well. Wow, look how wide both these drivers are, using all the track and some. That definitely must be the limit out there on that green stuff. Like you said, it was like 3/4 of the tire was still on the green stuff, so I guess that counted.
Zach Smith still was the fastest lap, maintaining a 1 second gap to Philippa Bakita. Doing very well, maybe in the dirty air behind her. Probably just gonna sit behind and try and stay close, not to let Philippa get too far ahead. Won't make any moves just for the sake of so they don't cost time later in the race. So Ryan Houlihan just had a bit of a snap through that final hairpin. As wow, the BMW takes a very wide line. But maybe just had a little bit of a snap as well. So that might let Houlihan get through. Yeah, it's very close now. to the BMW of Tan. Sitting
Yeah.
behind, might make a move into the final corner. He does this side by side. He's got the inside line, and it seems like, yeah, he's made it stick. Great move from for Ryan Houlihan
I
to the
love that a
final
lot.
corner.
That was beautiful. Just that's the sort of move that I love to see when drivers are able to do that. You don't see that too much on the online racing because it's a bit harder to pull off than in real life. But when you've got two corners back to back from each other and they're both the same same turn, like if they're both left-handers or both right-handers, just shoving it up the inside of the second one of the two of them can happen if you just want to be, especially when the second one's so important for coming onto the straight. Generally, people run a bit wide, break a little bit earlier, be really focusing on setting up their car. You can just sort of drive it up alongside like Houlihan did there, and that was a perfectly executed pass there. And good racing by Tan to realize that he was up the inside and not just turn down into him. So again, that gap to Pip is actually slightly extended at the moment. Pip just pulling a couple of tenths that lap, doing a 29.99. So really moving along, being very consistent up the front there. And we'll see if Houlihan can get back up into position or close to Samuel again. I don't know. There's not really much time left with these 30-minute races. Only got about 6 laps to make a difference.
Yeah, just to emphasize how consistent these top drivers are. Pip just got done for her first track limit warning all race, and she's been pushing hard, doing 29s, 30s. Oh, Chan looking to the final corner, very close to Tan on the rear, making a move around the outside maybe. Oh, it barely goes off. It's still side by side into turn 2. Tan's a little bit later in the brakes, has the inside line. Wow, close racing here. Chan maybe being able to make it stick.
Oh,
Whoa, a little bit of a tap.
Yeah.
Very hard and close racing there. But
Yeah, I was going to say that's that. We love to see that fair but almost unfair lean right over to your part of the track to make you not go down the inside. That was that was Dylan Tan's way of saying thanks, but no thanks. You've slowed me up enough. Now I'm going to try and catch back up to Houlihan again.
Yeah, sometimes things you don't see on the streams is that drivers, if they've had an incident like that where one of them pushes the other, if Chan has another move, he might really press Tan just to get a little bit of revenge. Like, if you're going to race me like that, I'll race you hard too.
Yeah, again, it's that real racer thing. You see it a lot in the F1, especially because their cars explode when they touch, but they tend to guide each other towards the very edge of the track and say, well, if you want to do it, I'm going to make it as hard as possible. And then it really slows them up or they have to back out. So we've just seen that there from Tan, and it looks like Chan is actually kind of within shooting distance again if he gets good run through turn 1, which he seems to be a lot quicker through turn 1 than that BMW. Even in the slipstream there, it's not too fast, not too slow, where you think it'd be a lot more as he gets a bit of a wobble there on the exit on the AstroTurf. But yeah, he'll be looking in the next lap or two to make a move for sure. This is the closest battle in the field we've got towards the front. Only got one other close battle, which is Briss on the back of someone who's actually not Burst. Sorry, I always do that. I'm dyslexic and I've been reading his name right the whole season, and then I get it wrong tonight for some reason. Sorry, Burst. You are very speedy. I think he actually got a position because he's in P11 now. So well done to him.
Yeah, Ethan Cale. I think he was battling with Christopher Taylor. So yeah, I think Ethan Cale's just backed off a little bit and lost a few positions.
That's unfortunate for him. As again, so we've got the international drivers putting a show on for us because the Aussies are all just driving fast laps, doing hot lap simulators. And again, Pip has just been, the last 2 laps were within 0.03 of a second with the last 2 laps within each other. So 30.1. There we go.
Perfect. has gotten a 15-second time penalty for causing a collision lap 13. So a bit unlucky there. As all, that was Stephen Ty, I believe, just getting a little bit close to Chan on brakes. Another 3-car battle here. So yeah, Stephen Ty maybe getting a little bit impatient through the final dwindling laps of the race.
Yeah, Ty's definitely out of position, qualifying P6, sorry. And with the car disconnecting, he should be in P5, but the two international drivers have worked their way past him. I believe he got jumped by Chan in the pit stops and Tan on track into turn 1. So he's really wanting to get those positions back. Probably feels he's a little bit quicker as well. Again, when we say a little bit quicker, it literally just means a tenth or half a tenth at this pointy end of the field. As he's really working that car hard, having a really big wobble out of the hairpin there, using all the track through the right-hander into the left-hander, and managing to drop quite a bit off. I actually think Chan's really fast in this last half of the track, last third of the track. Closing right up onto the back of Tan. Can Kobe Chan catch right up?
And just before these two start battling, I just want to point out Pip has made a gap to Zach Smith in the past few laps. It's now 2.5 seconds, and it's gaining. So Pip really putting the hammer down now. Zach Smith not being able to keep with her. As Ethan Kao, I think that's a drive-through for track limits.
Ooh, that's our first one.
It's the first one of the night. Wow, that's extremely unlucky. Sitting behind Luca Burst, yeah, just went off the track a few times. So that's going to cost his whole race, I believe, because we see a replay now. This is Tafik. He actually got a penalty, not for track limits. It's from an incident, as we see now. Going down the inside of turn 2. Yeah. Just made a bit of it. Yeah, just he looked at it and it just wasn't there. Maybe a little bit half of a move. I couldn't back out of it in time.
Yeah, it's one of those ones. I like to say it's not the most polite thing, but it's commit or eat shit. And unfortunately, sort of half committed, half went for both. And yeah, it ended up being as these two drivers both having a moment. That was Tan and Chan both having a wiggle over that curb. So they are really, really pushing hard to beat each other here. And Stephen Ty sitting there rubbing his hands together going, please, someone send the bomb and run both you wide so I can get through nice and cleanly. But I think he's actually sort of struggling, Ty, with his race pace here to really keep up with these two. It's only when the fact that they're pushing so hard and making little mistakes here and there that he's actually able to keep up with them, I'd say, from what I can tell, because they seem to break away from him and then they have a squiggle somewhere and then he's back on the back of him again.
It's a great battle here. The gap now to Philippa Bakita and Zach Smith is now 3 seconds. Yeah, so Pip's really now making a gap. I don't believe that Zach Smith will be able to make that time up in the past, 3-4 seconds. Sorry, 3-4 laps of the race.
Yeah, it appears. Surely Zach Smith's tyres have gone off, or he's just completely backed off, because Pip's still doing exactly the same times. I have not seen her do slower than a 30.18. That's the slowest I've seen her do. And so she's done every single lap within about 2/10. Oh, big move. That's a big move. That's
Wow, that's unlucky touch. Really close racing. We call it. Yeah, pushing each other to the limits there. Now, I have a question. Since you know real life racing there, Justin, would you say that wouldn't happen in real life? It's just the physics if it was a little tap like that, or do you reckon?
It really depends on where you touch. Sometimes touches like that literally nearly flip a car because your wheels touch and one car climbs up the other one for no reason at all. And other times you just bump and touch off each other. It usually doesn't end up with a. You tend not to bounce off each other like you do in this because Chan is playing on a higher ping. It's not going to interpret that quite as well, so I believe it tends to shoot you off a little bit harder than it normally would. So yeah, that sort of thing you don't get in real life. Again, it tends to be, if you're hitting them hard, you tend to absorb into each other a bit, if that makes sense, because the cars crumple. So you don't tend to have those little touches go flying too much, other than someone coming up from behind alongside and then potentially sort of launching over the rear tire a bit, like an open wheeler Sky launch. That's the thing that you don't tend to see in the online racing as you do compared to real life racing.
Yeah, like what happened to Mark Webber in 2010. That wouldn't happen in sim.
No, it doesn't appear to happen that way. No, it's a very hard thing to simulate, and to simulate it, it'd take a whole bunch of power. So they just don't do it.
Yeah, someone pointing out in the comments, VS supercars will absorb a lot of the impact from when you touch wheels because of how flimsy the bodywork is, I'm guessing.
Yeah, generally, again, the only time you're going to get much of a bounce is if the wheels touch in the right way, and other times you just tend to bonk each other, and not much really happens other than a car going a little bit step sideways. They can it sort of absorbs in and then pushes out sometimes with the panels, like they sort of, because you could picture it like squeezing a bottle. It sort of squishes in and then tries to deform back a little bit. You tend to get a little bit of a bounce, but it's a much softer bounce than what you see in this, where this sort of like the game says 2 cars are overlapping right now. Let me eject one from the other one. As we go right over the curb here with Stephen Tai. Probably a little bit upset the fact that he got a bit unfairly netcoded there. But again, I think that happens because of the latency there too, more than anything, the difference between the two. My guess is Chan probably has 150-ish ping or so. If he's currently in the nation that his flag is. I think he's playing from home, I assume. It's hard to tell with everyone because, you might be from a nation, but you're playing in another nation as well. Yes. So again, this battle's just never giving up though. Like they recompress again. They have a little bit of a fight. They spread out and then they compress back up again. So obviously Tan's probably just a little bit slower than Tai and Chan behind him, but they trying as hard as they can to keep up. And it looks like Houlihan's actually struggling a fair bit here. So Houlihan's actually dropping back into the clutches. But this is the last lap, actually. So that snuck up on me. That really has snuck up on me.
So, Philippa Bakita, 3.1 seconds ahead of Zach Smith. She'll be coming around the final corner now to take the checkered flag. I think there's someone stopped on track at the straight.
To let it pass.
That's Ethan Carroll maybe ran out of fuel or pulled over.
Yeah, probably will run out of fuel and gone, I'm going to run out of fuel if I don't stop here. All right, well done, Pip. Second is Zach Smith, then Samuels, then Houlihan, and we're going side by side across the line. 10, then Chan, 0.3 of a difference between the two of them. Then Stephen Tai, who drove a pretty good race. I think he'll be a little bit disappointed that he dropped a couple of positions back. Gallo, Taylor, Burrs in the Nissan, who's managed to finish 10th after that. He's just too quick in that thing. And the rest are all piling across the line. Very good race from everyone. There's Mitch Hobbs, who's a little bit further back than I think he'd like to be. He's currently 8th in the championship. So, yeah, I think he wants to be a little bit further up the field than 12th. But, yeah, so obviously struggling a little bit for pace. But here we go. We're about to hit quali. Again, we go straight into it. No brakes, just full speed out. Away we go. So we've already got drivers jumping out. They're quickly throwing in their qualifying setups and fuel. And we've got 12 minutes of qualifying action. Almost it's enough for a breather between the races. I think usually these at least we get the warm up lap or so. And Grant's just going to go for a little wee break or something like that, I'd say. So you'll have to listen to my lovely voice and my lovely voice only for the next couple of minutes. So, chat, can anyone say is something different going to happen? Is something spicy going to happen? Did people enjoy that first race? I think that was pretty exciting. There was a battle just about everywhere at some point up and down the grid. We had Pip just putting on a masterclass of super fast times as well. That was exciting. And Zach Smith showing how to drift, I'd say. That's what I call it. Definitely looked like a bit of a drift happening. A lot of the time we were on board with him. And it looks like Hobbs is going to lead us out into qualifying. Do you mind, Glenn, if we can get some onboard action? I absolutely love watching onboard action. You really get to see how the drivers steer these babies around. Welcome back, Grant.
Hello. Missed out on anything on the outlap?
No, nothing exciting. Just me dribbling for a minute or two, trying to amp up chat. Come on, Steve, says Fluky.
Well, it's a bit wide for Mitchell Hobbs into turn 2. And Ferrari, which is apparently a rocket ship in Sector 2 here. I think it's just because it's got good power just out of the corner. Wow, it's been quite wide for the past few corners, unless I'm missing out on the incorrect lines.
You're a race winner, so you can't be too bad.
So we're just gonna look at the qualifying times from quality 1.
Which
so
missed out on. Wow.
So the top 4 separated by about 0.2.
Yep. 1 second down to 20th. Look at that.
That is
1 second down to 20th. So this was previous qualifying. This is why when the race started that we had every single person right like within a 15th of each other the whole time. Like the whole race, everyone was within a few tenths for the first like 10 minutes of the track. So Hobbs goes across the line with a 30.5, but look at this. So pole position in the previous class would have been about
it was
13th or 14th, wasn't it? It was a
30.1.
It was a 0.1 in the end.
So that would have put him about.
The first session was 0.5 though, wasn't it?
Yes, that would have put him 15th, 16th, 17th.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You can't believe it. It's these people. You think you're like on the limit of if you're doing a lap, and these people will just go 2 seconds faster, and you think, how the hell did they do that?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like in real life racing, I would be very disappointed if I was like 5 or 6 tenths off pole, because usually that means you're quite a way off, and these guys and girls are showing me that it is a long way off. You are a long way down the grid if you're 5 or 6 tenths off, which is insane considering the times they're doing as well. Like it's that they're actually the ultimate pace that these guys and girls are reaching. So we're on board here with Stephen Ty. Is that right? I think in the Lambo. So he's improving by nearly 0.2. It's going to be he's got a little bit of a worse exit here, so going to actually drop a little bit. Fastest lap by Mitch Hobbs, and Stephen Ty goes into 3rd place. So Mitch Hobbs is on pole with a 30.2. So the track proving to be a little bit slower, I think, probably because it's a bit warmer. Although Pip does a 30.1, possibly because the track seems to be a little bit hotter this session. I think it was mid 30s or low 30s, where I think it was a bit faster, a bit cooler earlier on.
I have my
It's
shock face on right now, Pip being pole. I am shocked.
3/10 up on everyone at the moment as Samuel's looking very spicy here. 1 corner to go, 5/10 up on himself. So this is going to put him into P2 as he comes across the line. But here's Houlihan. Never mind. Houlihan says it's not slow, Justin. You are extremely wrong. Is a 29.8. So very fast, and actually a 10th up until that snap. It was a 10th up that he snapped that oversteer. I was about to say, look at that time. So and Samuel actually pips Pip by 3/1000ths of a second. So 0.003 faster than Philippa, who's actually 2/10 up though.
Yeah, Samuel has just pipped Pip to second place. Sorry, I just had that in my mind. I had to get it out.
I know. That's why I said I accidentally said it as well. So Pip's actually just lost a little bit there in that last sector. Oh man, she'll be a bit disappointed with that. She was up by 0.2, and Zach Smith goes pole now by 0.03. So Pip's actually going to go into the pits. Not happy with that. 2.5 off the pace. Zach's actually gone faster than her pole time from last lap. I think that last time.
I think by a few thousandths of a second. I think.
Yeah, she did a 7.95 if I remember right.
Yeah, that was it. I was trying to think about it. Wow.
So yeah, this is very fast from Zach and his teammate Houlihan.
Samuel about 1.5 up.
That's what
put him P2, P3. Coming to the final corner, using all that entry curb, all of the apex and all of the exit. Close to invalid, but about 2/10 up. Well, we see. Get off the marbles, mate, please. That puts him P3, 1.6 off of Zach Smith. We're on with Chan here, matching his previous time. He's 7,000ths off of Shady Samuel. I cannot believe this. And he invalidates a bit of understeer there, I think, judging from the inputs.
Yeah, it just didn't go where he was pointing those front tires. Here's Tafik. He'll be looking to go a bit faster this time. And you know what's funny? Again, we're missing a couple of our more front runners. Well, we're missing Rashmat, who's currently second in the championship and leading the international one. So there would be another driver in the middle of this battle, which is crazy to think that you can fit even more cars in the middle of this group with how tight they all are.
Tafik was just a few inches away from apex there into the third to last corner. Mitchell Hobbs, 10th down time so far, heading through Sector 1. Always got a good exit here. Wow, this is such close margins. Looking at his inputs being, trying to be very smooth. Still about 1.5 down.
I'd say this is his first. Yeah, I'd say this is his first outlap, and he's actually invalidated as well. But yeah,
Okay.
this would be his first outlap. And wow, that's a lot of track width there from Houlihan, who's looking like he's going to try and go faster. He's 0.5 up from his previous time.
That was smooth.
0.05, not 0.5. Don't get it right. Don't get everyone overexcited. And bit of a snap there. So Houlihan on his fastest lap, I think, lost a bit of time just out here. Yeah, this is looking a bit quicker. He invalidates though.
Philippa is also on a valid lap. Let's see if Connor Hines maybe.
Where is she?
She's at
hairpin now.
Connor also on an out lap. Jeez, they're not thinking about the commentators here.
Yeah, I know. They're all just starting a lap and then bailing out of it or invalidating halfway through. So Chan's on invalidated lap as well. It's all the front runners are all setting themselves up for a last minute dash here. They're probably going to get 2 more laps in, a couple of the ones that are near the line. Looks like Hobbs is actually on a lap and flying. So up a 10th. Looking really good through here. Loses a little bit on the exit. It's amazing how you can see just that handwork. The second they put in that opposite lock to catch a slide, the tenths to start rolling out. Sorry, the hundredths to start rolling out, and only marginally up heading into the last half of the track now. Gets good rotation here. I think he'll be pretty happy with that, getting a few hundredths through that corner. Coming into the hairpin now, the right-hander goes deep, but then cuts back and gets on the gas early. So gets a good run, but actually overall sort of loses a tiny bit of time or misses the apex completely there, and that's an invalid lap. So going to line himself up and try and have one more crack at this. So setting himself up nice and wide, and he's going to start his final lap as we're on board with Zach Smith, who is pretty much on par with his fastest lap. He's gaining slightly on himself. He's actually dead even with his fastest lap. This is how consistently they're driving. As nails the last corner and actually catches back up some time, but is it going to be dead even as he crosses the line? What's he going to do?
Ooh.
He does exactly the same lap.
Wow.
Wow. Okay, Zach. Just put it on pole twice, why don't you? But going for one more lap.
Consistency much?
Yeah. So Houlihan's trying, but unfortunately about a full 10th down. So still going to get one more lap in here with 20 seconds left going across the line. So this will be the last attempt. Anywhere greater than second place. And we're on board with Samuel now, who's nearly half a second up, although it drops half a tenth up. Got to stop saying that. I've been saying that all night. Samuel's is, pretty much dead even. So he will not be getting another lap too. So this is it. Last corner. Can he make a bit of a gain? He needs quite a bit of time in this last corner, which he makes some, but invalidates. Yep, that's it. So it probably wasn't going to be any faster because he used all the track and some and still wasn't going much faster. Pip is actually going faster by a tenth and a bit. So Pip's still with a fair bit of the track left too. So if anyone can take pole position, it's Pip with this much of the track left, although not getting the left-hand hairpin that well, although gaining quite a bit here on the right-hander. Does she get a good exit? She uses all the track. One full tenth. Zipping through this last section. That is a lot of curb and manages to keep it, but still only about 0.08 up. Can she nail the last corner? She actually gains quite a bit on the entrance, and on the exit, it's nearly 2 tenths, but I don't think this is going to be enough. She might get P2.
P3.
It's P3. Wow, the first 4 drivers within a tenth. So Chan actually snuck up there as well, even closer. Unbelievably close. That's 4 drivers within less than a tenth. Here comes Kayser across the line. And that's actually everyone across the line now. So 5 tenths off the pace would get you 10th position. In fact, 11th or 12th. That is so close. Oh, man, what a qualifying session. Every single driver really putting in some laps at the end there. That is what I like to see. This group is just the tightest racing I've ever seen in OR's history. This is crazy.
So Lucas Burse qualifying not as well as the previous race. He qualified 12th. Now he's down in 17th, just in front of Christopher Taylor. So he's had a bit more of a poor qualifying than the previous race. Who else has done well? Connor Hind made up a lot more ground.
Hobbs is a lot further forward this time too. Yeah, I think Hobbs was way back actually last race. So I'm trying to remember where he finished. Where did he finish, Glenn? Do you know? 19th. So that is a huge improvement by Hobbs. Just needed a warm-up race. That's all it was. Gallo's a little bit further back, but probably roughly where he should be in that Porsche. That's and Tan's actually a little bit further back as well, because Tan was racing with Chan, and Chan's all the way up in P4, so Chan's managed to pull out the pace. Was Chan the one that disconnected?
No, I don't believe he disconnected. I think he got into an incident with who was it? Stephen Ty.
Right.
The little
Okay.
bounce they were talking about.
That's right. That's right. But I remember someone. There was five McLarens, and then we started the race with 4 in the top 5. So I'm trying to
Uh,
remember who's gone disappearing,
I,
and if they're back.
I don't remember. I think they're all there still. I'm not sure.
That's all good. All right. So we've got a fanboy for Mags in P14. Yeah, come on, chat. Let's see who you're cheering for. We want to see who's your favorite drivers. This is your chance to shout them out. I'll read them out for you if you want. We've got Stephen Ty fan here. We've got a Mags fan. Thanks for watching, everyone. You guys are awesome. I'm excited. This is if race one's anything to go off of, this race is going to be awesome as well. I think it's just the pace that these guys and girls are racing at as well. Like it's so quick, and I can't wait to see the race. It seems to be you make a small mistake if you drive a penalty free race, you generally do really well because penalty with how tight everyone is like 5. Like for the smallest penalties, it's like 5-6 positions. So you just have to make sure you stay nice and clean, keep it on the track, don't get into too much trouble. And when you get your passes done, make sure they're nice and clean and quick. Because you start battling and then you just see gaps open of a second or two, and then they just never get closed up again.
Yeah, so I'm just looking back. It was so Chan qualified P5, but then I think started P6 or 7 in the first race. So I think a bit of a glitch or something happened there. So that's why it looked like there was a missing McLaren when it started the top 5.
Oh, that's
a line.
That's Chan again. Don't tell me Chan's going to start from further back again.
Did I jinx him? Don't tell me I jinxed him. That's it. That's the commentator's curse. That's the first time I've done it to someone.
He's going to have damage too. He hit the wall. That's not fun. Is he going to be able to get back into position in time, or is that going to be start from the back?
That's oh god.
That looked like a no TC tire warm up fail. That's what it looked like. He's going to try and zip through. Oh dear. Well, you mentioned his name, and he was in the fence. So, is he going to stay back? He's going to stay at the back. Oh no. Oh,
wow.
Chan can't catch a break. All right, everyone's double filing now. Yeah. So he's up. He's up 2 spots. That's really unfortunate. All right, as we come onto the main straight, do you want to take us away again, Grant?
Might as well. So coming down the front straight, about to go green. Drivers are holding 80. Zach Smith and Ryan Houlihan up at front. We're waiting. It goes green. The BMW Octane goes straight to the inside line. Getting quite a good start. We're too wide at the front. They're close to each other. There's a little bit of contact. That was, I believe, maybe Paul Gibbons or Christopher Taylor. I think that's maybe Houlihan. Yeah, Houlihan's in front of Zach Smith, takes the lead. Pip just following behind in P3. Then we have Shady Samuel in P4. Houlihan's done well, and they're fighting into turn 4. Houlihan's got the inside line for the next corner. Zach Smith going for a very wide line. As they get very close. Pip takes advantage of that and is now going the back straight nearly side by side with Zach Smith. This will allow maybe Houlihan to just get forward a little bit. Pip being conservative, doing well. Morello has made up a ton of spots. Started 18th, now in P11, doing well. What have you thought of this start, Justin?
I'm impressed. Like that was some very hard and fast driving between the 2 teammates. They are teammates. That was very, very spicy start, and Pip was thinking about making a move here and there and everywhere, but nothing really opened itself up. So she used her big brain and just decided to sit steady. as Houlihan's really just put the foot down and probably got the only gap in the field at the moment. As we get the first lap underway, 48 minutes left as someone's actually doing an early pit stop already. Ben Chan is doing it, probably to repair some of that damage, I'd say. Poor bugger. I feel for him. That's just not what he needs, as he's in 6th position or 3rd in the international championship. Really wants to stay at that pointy end. But if anyone can do it, Chan can. So yeah, nose to tail action at the front here. Everyone's single file. These pro drivers are just so quick. There's generally not many moves that get done apart from when someone really is out of position, or once they've really worked their way up right up to the back of someone. On the cold tires, it is hard to sit close to the cars in front with that lack of aero that you get from the dirty air from the car in front, and also the fact that you are just sliding around a little bit more on those cold tires. You don't want to blister your tires before the race even starts or grain them.
Just want to point out, Morella and Burst started around 18th, 17th position. They're in the top 10 now. I don't know whether there's been a glitch to the game, or they've just been even, or just had a really good start, but they've made up a ton of positions.
They are just glitches to the game. Those two, they're
Okay.
just performing faster. What's that movie, Wreck-It Ralph? They find the glitch in the game and they just go faster because of it. That is ridiculously fast. Well done to both of them getting a ridiculous start. Sometimes you get that bit further back in the pack where a lane of cars goes slowly and you just decide, I'm going to drive on my own out here, and everyone slows up and you just drive at normal pace and pass 5-6 cars in a row. That is probably my guess of what happened, especially when you see 2 people that have just jumped 5 or 6 positions. But yeah, this battle out the front looks like it's ready to kick off at any moment, as the gap's just squeezing ever so tighter and tighter. All 3 of them within 3/10 of each other, less than a car length between first and second at times. So this is going to tee off any second now, I think.
Wonder if Zach Smith will go for try and do the undercut on Houlihan, just like he did against Pip last race. Will he maybe try and see that didn't work and go for the overcuts instead?
Yeah, that's probably, I mean, it's probably going to come down to strategy and execution of that strategy this race. I mean, well, we've got 2 teammates. I wonder if they're going to be working together, as Pip does the fastest lap, 30.1. So again, very fast times. Pip did every single lap of last race under a 30.1, other than the pitting laps and out lap, which is just ridiculous. What was it? Under 30.2. So she did 30.19 and a 30.17 and a 30.15 and a 30. It's just all of that. It's just ridiculous.
Starting to get out of hand. Slow them down. Make me feel like I'm good at the game.
I'm going to call it. She's going to do some slower laps than that this race, because she's got 2 cars she's got to get through. So if she wants to get through them, she'll have to. They'll have to go slower to do the pass, if that makes sense, unless she somehow jumps them in the pits.
Yeah, I heard that lap 3 to lap 4 is probably the best opportunity to do the fastest lap, because of the cars might be a bit more spread out. Your tires will be switched on now, and you won't have, and you still have probably a lot of fuel, but in these races you won't have that much. So yeah, you might have a good opportunity to get the fastest lap in the next few laps.
Yeah, and Samuel's really just tagging along, trying as hard as he can to keep up on the back of Pip's car, as Zachary Smith goes faster again. So again, these times are near identical, though. That's only a few hundredths faster than what Pip did last lap. So Houlihan goes very wide and then goes defensive into turn 2. Zach Smith's all over it, and Pip's now making it 3 wide into turn 2. Wow, like I said earlier, they're just waiting for that small mistake. That wasn't much of a mistake, but Houlihan realizing that he's now not got the momentum into turn 2, and this front bunch is now all nose to tail, and Samuel Smith's going, please just keep battling. I'm almost there. As Pip is all over the back of Zach Smith. It's amazing how much of a concertina that one little mistake from Houlihan. Oh, Zach dives up the inside. I was not expecting that. I was looking at other things, thinking about the previous corners, but Zach Smith has taken the lead away from Houlihan, and Houlihan is putting the nose back under Zach Smith, and now they're side by side again, but Zach's probably got a better exit here, so Houlihan's going to duck in behind. Coming through the last section now, they've straightened things out. Houlihan's still pretty close to the back of Pip. I wonder if Pip's actually thinking, should I pit and let these two battle it out? I got a feeling she might. Oh, no. Samuels does it. Samuels does it. Dives straight into the pit. Sorry, I got to cop calling him Samuels. Samuel. And that lap was nowhere near as fast. I told you it was going to happen, that if they kick off with the battling, it's going to slow down. So they were 1.3 seconds slower that lap. As Houlihan goes up the inside.
Bit of team orders, maybe?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think so. That looked like a pretty racy move, and now Pip's back into it as well. This is what I love to see. The racing at the pointy end. Identical cars. Yep. No room. Identical cars. Really good driving by everyone. Again, Zach's move was very optimistic, but Houlihan, being the experienced person, just opens the wheel and says, I'll just get you later. That's fine. I don't want to end my race shutting the door on you here. So good driving all round. Again, Houlihan's actually broken a little bit of a gap there. So making that pass extremely cleanly, and just a bit of pressure from Pip has slowed up Zach as well. She poked her nose into turn 3. Last few corners of the track again. We've still got 21 minutes left in this race. 75 points up for grabs in the Sim Magic GT3 Cup. And Pip pits. All right. So Pip said, you know what? I don't want a part of this. I'm just going to let you guys battle it out. And Tan pits as well from P5. So Pip is going to try and do the undercut this time. I wonder if they'll answer. I don't know if they will. I got a feeling Houlihan is really the king of doing the opposite to everyone else. Either likes to pit really early or try and pit later, from what I've seen. Always tries to make the alternate strategy work. But will Zach Smith be able to hang on, or will Zach Smith decide to cover off Philippa?
Yeah, so these two are racing each other very hard. Even though they're teammates, I don't think they're giving any gap to each other. They might be in a little team speak call together as well, so they might be talking to each other while they're racing really hard. Pip's now just jumped out of a pit box, coming out of the pits now. That puts her around 12th place. So first out of the people who have done their pit stops.
That's right. So yeah, about half the field's done a pit stop already, and we're only 10 minutes into the race. So that's a little bit surprising.
That's Shady Samuels. Shady Samuels jumped Pip in the pit stops.
Unbelievable. Well done, Samuels. This is actually terrible for Pip. Pip does not want to see that. Again, that usually means that the pit stop was slow by Pip rather than a fast pit stop by Shady, because you can't really do anything. Your tires are going to take 30 seconds. But Samuel's pitting a lap earlier than everyone. No, yeah, a lap earlier, and the battling into turn 1 and 2 has slowed them up. So are we going to see Samuels potentially jump Zach Smith as well? I'm be surprised if that's the case, though, because Pip is right behind Samuel. Here they come through the last little section now, so we'll get an answer any second now. Houlihan's still
Yep.
pumping laps around out the front.
Pip took a huge chunk of that exit curb there, so lost quite a bit of time. We'll see what times Shady Samuel's done as he crosses the line. It'll probably be a mid-30.
Zach's leaving now.
Yep, that was a
30.9.
30.9. So yeah, Zach Smith has got a bit of breathing room to Philippa Bakita. So the overcut has worked pretty well for him.
Yeah, and so I'd say Pip just had a bit of a bad pit stop, but I mean, look at the speed of the warmed up tires catching up to Zach. So yeah, Samuels has definitely done a good lap. Fastest lap by Houlihan out the front, so he's probably gonna stay in front if he pits this next lap after setting that fastest lap. I think it'll be smart of him to do it. Like I said, he likes to do that alternate strategy, so I wouldn't be surprised if he does to stay out for 2 or 3 more laps, having that nice clear air out the front. So Stephen Ty's actually come in the pits too, and Hobbs and Kale and Cook. So we've only got 3 drivers that haven't pitted left. This is our race leader, Houlihan. That's Briss in the Nissan. Oh, Burrs. I did it again. I'm sorry. Burrs. I'm going to stop reading his name. Oh, my damn dyslexia. And Gibson. So
Gibbons.
Oh, Gibbons. Sorry, not Gibson. Yeah, Gibbons. Oh my goodness, it's just
guitars,
all late tonight. Yeah, I know. I wish I've had a few drinks so I could blame the alcohol or something, but I haven't. Just blame my English teachers through school.
That was Ethan Kale exiting the pits now, just behind Philippa Bakita. Was that? Sorry, I think that's Stephen Ty, not Ethan Kale. So Stephen Ty is in the race for I think the top 5 finish now. About I think a few seconds off of Philippa Bakita.
And Houlihan into the pits. It's amazing. Everyone's pitted. Pretty much everyone's going to have pitted before the 15-minute mark. So all the drivers deciding they want to get off those tires. 24 degrees is the track, by the way. That's nice and cool compared to qualifying, which was up a fair bit more. So we're getting these beautiful action cams. Brave as that cameraman standing on the curb, walking backwards. It looks like Samuel's actually closed the gap right up on Smith, so they're actually not too far away from the back of Smith. 0.6 is the gap, I believe. Oh, and it appears to be that Pip's made a bit of a mistake through that left-hander again. Probably the same curb again, I'd say. There's the gap sort of opened up between her and Samuel. And here comes Houlihan out of the pits. So we get the double camera action. So Houlihan's going to stay in front, but going to have cold tires. So I dare say this is going to be a battle. Here comes Zach. All over it. Where is he? He's on the outside. He's on the inside. He's having to look everywhere. Oh, they were all over the back of him. So this is going to condense the field again. So these guys are all going to end up nose to tail. Here we go, Zach. Applying the blowtorch like crazy on Houlihan. Did he give him a little nudge or did he do it by himself? I think Houlihan runs a little bit wide. They're side by side. Zach's going to get run out onto the AstroTurf and slots in behind. Does Samuel take the chance or is Philippa going to have a go? Philippa's had a bit of a dive on the inside of Samuel now. Can Pip pull this off? It's side by side. They're dropping the gap, and now Samuel's still kept the inside. That's such a hard spot to get the corner done. As Pip does the over, oh no, gets sideways by touching the back left tire of Samuel there, trying to do the over and under, but there just wasn't quite enough room. So this has hurt them a little bit, given Houlihan the chance for his tires to heat up. Zach probably just holding second place here to not make them fall back into the clutches of Samuels and Philippa. Although here's the big block from Houlihan right down the inside. Zach Smith goes around the outside. Is he going to try and do it? No, he's not. He's going to tuck in behind. And then he's going to try and look potentially for the inside into turn 2. The big block again by Houlihan. These are huge blocking moves. So this is quite slow. A little bit of a touch, nose to tail, but that's all right. That's what happens when everyone's running super defensive lines and tight and slow on the apexes, as Stephen Tai is completely closing up this gap. This is so much closer than it was just a few seconds ago. And all the drivers, this is just fully back into action now that the pit stops are played out. And again, Houlihan having to run defensive. Pip is weaving her tires, obviously feeling she's got some dirt on it. Around the outside goes Zach Smith. Can he pull this off? Because he's going to be on the inside for the next couple of corners. But I think Houlihan's got all the way across so he can jump across to the inside and defend. Is Zach Smith going to stick it up the inside? He doesn't. Good defensive driving by Houlihan. You are seeing a masterclass in defense here. This is huge stuff. Do you want to jump in and take a few words while I catch my breath there, Grant?
Geez, even taken a long run as Houlihan hits the curb on the exit there. Wrong. Zach Smith going around the outside of the final corner. He gets quite close, doesn't get the line he wants. Trying to make sure he gets a good exit into the slipstream of Ryan Houlihan. Wow, this is close racing. Top 4 separated by probably a few tenths. As Zach Smith gone very close around the outside of turn 1, pressuring him. Will he come from for the switchback into turn 2? Houlihan presses him wide, and Shady Sound was trying to get involved in this. Wow, this is close racing. Zach Smith nearly makes it stick. Jeez, this is getting really close here. Philippa looking at getting past Shady Samuel to get onto the podium right here. All this fighting has allowed Stephen Tai and Tan to get close here, so it is now 6 cars separated by about 2 seconds.
Yeah, this is unbelievable. Samuel obviously getting a little bit spooked by the cars in front because every time these two go side by side, he catches right up, but then immediately drops back off again. He's not that he's slower. It's the fact that I think he's seeing the potential, or there might be someone, going to spin here or touch here, or because the drivers are just driving absolutely nose to tail, and you pretty much can't put a piece of paper in between these two cars. They drive that close that often. It is insane. In fact, there's been a few small little touches, but everything's been super fair between these guys and girls up the front. Houlihan sort of put the hammer down again and pulled a bit of a gap, but I wonder if Zach's running a little bit less wing because he seems to be so quick down this front section of the straight and then through turn 1 as well. Every single time Houlihan's like looking to go defensively into turn 1. Turn 2, sorry. This might be the first time in 3 laps that Houlihan hasn't had to go defensive into turn 1. But this has really turned this 4-car battle into a 6-car battle. We're finally getting a little bit of a break. We've still got 10 minutes left, though, so we're looking at about 6 or 7 laps, depending on what position they cross the line. And they have been fighting a bit this race, so the average lap time might be a fair bit slower up the front. And we've got this beautiful gaggle of cars, then a 7-second gap, and then another beautiful gaggles of cars, and then a 3-second gap, and then a big gaggle of cars. And then a lonely number 12 of Chan out the back there, who had to fix his damage early on from spinning in the warm-up lap. Finally, we get a break there, Grant.
Jeez. Wow, so I just want to point out Luca Burst has gone past Connor Hine for 7th place. So obviously, I think it was through the pit stops. So crazy how he's doing that in the Nissan, gone past the Ferrari around this track.
That's 10 positions in this race, by the way. That's 10 positions. He started 17th, if I remember right.
17th is also how old he is. I can't believe that. As Zach Smith goes to the fastest lap.
He's got the inside.
He gets the inside line.
Oh, that was so close. He bails out. Everyone goes off the track. They're all going to eat a warning there. That was 4 cars going completely off track limits there. As Sadie Samuels is right up behind them again. Pip has dropped back a bit. I wonder if she's hurt her tires in all this battling. That was crazy. So Zach finally gets the inside line, but has to pull out as he's not able to get far enough along the inside of Houlihan. I'm surprised he didn't just keep going with the tactic, although I guess Houlihan kept coming back across and was able to block it off before they got into braking into turn 2. Zach coming right up under brakes again on Houlihan. So, yeah, Zach is still showing some serious pace. He really wants this win because Pip's back a few spots, and the only way he's going to close up this championship lead is if he finishes multiple spots ahead of Pip, which this might be one of the only races he gets the chance to do that in with how fast Pip has been. So, Houlihan driving a great last section again. He's really fast through here. Zach just trying to get a good run on the track. I really love Zach's last corner. That is so nice. He's going to end up right on the back, and it's going to be another look for the lead again here. So, Houlihan showing the fact that he doesn't want Zach to have a look, but Zach's not quite close enough this time. Coming through turn 1. Both of them using all the track. And through turn 2. Still single file for now. Again, every time they go single file, they tend to drop Samuel in third place. Just about a few tenths a lap. Again, I think Pip's actually possibly dealing with some damage or tires going off. It's when you're racing like this, you tend to fry your tires a bit. So could very well be possible, but that's the case. These two out front are doing some seriously quick times. Quicker than they were in the first stint, that's for sure. And, things have just calmed down again as we take a little bit of a breather.
So Luca Burst is again pointing out he's gained about a second to tan through the last lap or two. I think that's just from all the fighting going on ahead. But there is a bit of a train going on here now. So it goes from Luca Burst, Connor Hind, Morella, Mitch Hobbs, Jamie Koza, Ethan Cale, Gallo, and I think Gibbons. Yeah, it ends at Gibbo. So another good chain of cars, very separated by only a few seconds.
Oh, and Chris is spamming emotes out in chat. Chris Cooley, I'm so sad you're not in this race because you would be another car in this battle. Not sure how quick the Aston is here, but oh, sorry, no, you wouldn't. You'd be in the previous race, but hey, you would have made the previous race battle a lot more interesting. I hope it wasn't anything unfortunate for you not to miss out on your race, but yeah, I was looking forward to seeing you racing hard at this track because we have had some seriously tight racing in both classes, and this pro has just been off the chain. As we're on board with Hind here, who's right behind Burrs, zipping along. Ken only 5 tenths behind. Just so cool to see these gaggles of cars, just big long train. Oh, could you imagine if this was like an endurance race or something? How intense this would be.
In the final laps, yeah, because you'd have your whole team looking down at you as well.
Yeah,
the pressure would be on the drivers, especially. You wouldn't want to let them down. You've been fighting for however long, 6 hours, 12 hours, and it all come down to the final 5 minutes now. Christopher Taylor, 5-second penalty for causing a collision on lap 12. Wonder where that's come from. Unlucky for the driver who scored a lot of points last race. Now we're looking back at the leaders. It seems that Shea Samuels lost about a second to that Zach Smith. So I think his theory was right. Once they get, he doesn't have. I don't think he has the outright pace right now in the straight line. But that could change as Pip's tyres might get better or worse. And Ryan Houlihan and Zach Smith start fighting maybe.
Oh, that's very wide from Houlihan. Sorry, that looks all nearly in the gravel from Houlihan there.
I didn't see that.
He was parallel with the gravel, that's for sure. It was right out on the AstroTurf. There's not much room there, but maybe that's just him using absolutely everything on the track. He hasn't appeared to have lost too much time. I thought that might have been a bit slow. But yeah, it looks like Pip's actually caught right up to the back of Samuel now, obviously getting her tyres back underneath her. And probably going to try and look for a move. There is 3 more laps left. Yeah, it's going to be 3 more laps. Oh, gee. That was exceptionally wide from Pip there. The car did not look happy there. So she's dropped back again, unfortunately.
One thing I'm thinking about is the track limits points, because I've seen a few drivers go wide now. A few of the pros, or they're all pros. A few of the front runners have gone wide a few times, so they might be on their second, third warning the track limit. So if they keep on pushing this hard and they go off a few more times, that could be a drive-through.
Yeah, definitely. I actually spotted the other week. There's an Easter egg on Zach Smith's car somewhere. Like, as in, when I say an Easter egg, not a physical Easter egg, but like a video game style Easter egg. There's a hidden something somewhere, and I I wonder if chat's noticed where it is. It's quite funny. It's you only see it in a particular camera as well, so I hope that doesn't give it away too much. It's
at the end of the race, we can get Glenn to get the drone cam on his car. I'll see if I can find it. But oh wait, no, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I've seen it.
Yep.
yeah.
So I'm not sure if Glenn knows. If you want to show everyone, Glenn, go to the rear view camera, the one that you can see. I'm trying to think of what it's called.
The reverse bonnet cam.
Reverse bonnet cam, yeah.
That's I seen it last time. I'm thinking no one's pointed that out. Should I? Yeah.
Yeah. And you won't even spot it straight away unless you look for it.
Yeah.
It's definitely there.
I've seen a few Easter eggs on a few cars for the past few what do you call it? Endurance races, especially.
Oh yes, yeah. The endurance race skins are amazing. Yeah. But this race has been so intense. Like, I mean, this feels like a calm period, even though we've got 2 cars here within 0.3 of each other. But things have sort of really settled down. We are in the final minutes, so we're going to do one more lap after this one. So a lap and a half left, really.
Or I think we might actually. This might be the final lap potential. Oh wait, nah. Sorry, I was thinking of the wrong cars. So they'll just do another lap. I'm looking at Pip's time.
I've actually got an emergency. Do you mind just bringing it home?
I'll bring it home. Yep, you go ahead. All right. So so Justin's had to pull out. So final maybe 2 laps of the race. Pip's hunting down Shady Samuel for the final podium slots. Shady is about 1.5 seconds away from Zach Smith, who's about a second away from Ryan Houlihan. These guys have been fighting all race, and yes, there will be another lap. So final lap. So who else has been doing well? We have Connor Hind, Mitchell Hobbs, who's lost about 2 places in the past few laps. Philippa Bakita has gotten away quite a bit from Stephen Ty and is right on the back of Shady Samuel in the final lap, going through turn 4 now. Very close, putting the pressure on, very slidey on the McLaren there. Rear tyre is always burning up, I found, in these final few laps. Hoping to get a really good exit out of this final corner before the back straight. She seems to have done that, trying to stay right in the slipstream. Maybe get that inside line. Will she send it? No, she won't. She's not close enough just yet to Shady Samuel. Wow, this is going to get close. I believe that Zach Smith will probably not be able to make a move into any of the last corners on Ryan Houlihan. Ryan Houlihan, not Houlihan. So here we are. That's Shady Samuel getting quite close to the edge of the track. That might have cost him on this final corner. Will Pip make a move? It doesn't look like she's close enough. No, she's not. So here we are with Ryan Houlihan, who comes across the line and wins the second race at Valencia for the GT3 Pro Cup Finals. Coming home is second place is Zach Smith, Philippa Bakita doing a line. That's a line. For P4, Shady Samuel P5, Stephen Ty P6, P5, Tan 7th, Luca Burse. What a race for Lucas Burse. P7, P17. Cannot believe that. Connor Hind doing well as a huge crash there. Everyone doing donuts at exit of turn 1. And then Marino Morella topping out the top 10.
What a race.
Yeah, that was I've never seen closer racing my entire life. They left no margins out there today. So
I've just disconnected you, sorry.
Oh, good mate.
Alright, well, I will just take us through the results. Grant, seeing I've managed to lose your picture for you. Race 1, we had Bakita, Smith, Samuel, Houlihan and Tan in the first top 5. And in race 2, we've had Houlihan, Smith, Samuel, Bakita and Stephen Ty getting up into 5th position. It's been an amazing night of racing. Thanks to Grant and to Justin for taking us through there with some great commentary as well. We have another round next week. We're going to, I believe, Mount Panorama. So
Yay.
That's going to be a ripper. Thanks chat. Thanks everyone for being with us. Apologies for the first race tonight, which was a bit rough, but glad that we got it sorted out for these last 2 because they have been absolute rippers. Have a great weekend everybody, and we will sign off and catch you next week. Bye for now. Thanks Grant, sorry about the